The Genesis confrontation. Today we are not reading Genesis chapter 1 casually. We are confronting it. The first verse of the Bible from the book of Genesis says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." Stop there. This verse destroys 3 modern assumptions immediately. 1. The universe is not eternal. 2. Matter is not eternal. 3. Time is not eternal. Time begins here. So when someone asks, what was God doing before creation? The question is flawed. Before requires time. Time begins in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. God is not inside time. He is the cause of it. He does not exist in the universe. The universe exists because of Him. The problem of chaos, verse 2. The earth was without form and void. This does not mean ruined. It means unstructured. 2 problems exist. No form, no filling. Genesis chapter 1 solves both. Days 1 to 3, form. Days 4 to 6, fill. This is deliberate structure. Day 1, light. Let there be light. Light appears, but the sun is not created until day 4. So what is this light? It cannot be sunlight. This means one of 3 things. 1. God created light energy independent of the sun. 2. The sun existed but was not appointed yet. 3. The days are not solar days. Now think carefully. Genesis was written in a world where people worshipped the sun. So what does Genesis do? It creates light before the sun, meaning the sun is not the source of light. It is a tool. God is the source. That is theological warfare against idolatry. Now another problem. Evening and morning are mentioned. But without the sun, how do you measure evening and morning? This shows that day here may not depend on solar rotation. God defines time. The sun measures time later. Day 2, the expanse. God separates waters above from waters below. This creates sky. In ancient understanding, this describes the atmosphere separating oceans from clouds. Functionally, it creates breathable space. But notice something strange. Day 2 does not say, "It was good." Why? Because separation is not the final goal. Completion happens when the system works together. Day 2 prepares. It does not finalize. Day 3, land and plants. Waters gather. Dry land appears. Now vegetation grows. And here is the real scientific tension. Plants require sunlight for photosynthesis. But the sun appears on day 4. How do plants survive? If these are literal 24-hour days, plants exist less than 24 hours before the sun appears. That is not biologically impossible. It is short enough to survive. But the deeper message is this. Life does not depend on the sun ultimately. It depends on God. Genesis intentionally removes the sun from being life-giver. In ancient cultures, the sun was divine. Genesis demotes it. The sun is a created clock, nothing more. Day 4, sun, moon, stars. Now God creates lights to govern. Notice the wording. They govern. They rule. They do not create life. They regulate time. This answers the earlier tension. The first 3 days establish function. Day 4 installs regulators. Time existed before the sun. The sun becomes the instrument of timekeeping. Now ask this. If the sun is just a tool, who controls it? God does. Day 5, sea creatures and birds. The realms created earlier are now filled. Sky receives birds. Seas receive fish. Form right-pointing arrow fill. Structure right-pointing arrow life. Order is intentional. Day 6, land animals and humanity. Land animals appear. Then, something changes in language. Let us make man in our image. Why plural? 2 explanations. 1. Divine council language. 2. Early indication of plurality within God. Now connect this with the Gospel of John, which says, "All things were made through Him." That identifies the word, Christ, as active in creation. Genesis does not fully explain the Trinity, but it does not contradict it. Now, image of God. This does not mean physical shape. It means rationality, moral capacity, creative ability, authority over creation. Relational design. Humans uniquely represent God's rule on earth. Male and female equally bear that image. That is revolutionary for the ancient world. Day 7. Rest. God rests, not from exhaustion but from completion. Rest means order established. The system functions. Creation is not chaotic. It is structured. The big questions. Did God know humanity would sin? If God is omniscient, yes, which means redemption was not an emergency plan. Creation was initiated knowing the cost. Was Jesus present? According to the Gospel of John, yes. Was the Spirit present? Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 says yes. Was earth created before the sun? In the narrative order, yes. Does that conflict with science? It creates tension, but not contradiction if one understands genre and structure. Genesis chapter 1 is not written as a modern physics paper. It is written as a theological foundation. Its purpose is not to describe nuclear fusion. Its purpose is to declare sovereignty. Who is ultimate? Not the sun, not the stars, not chaos, not random chance. God. Before time. Before matter. Before energy. Genesis chapter 1 establishes authority. Everything else in the Bible stands on that foundation.